to my knowledge, Labyrinth really kind of kicked off the Landmark Entertainment angle of things for you. Uh,
Well,
and
actually, yeah, no, Landmark Entertainment is the label I've had
well, I mean, as a
ever since.
solo artist, I'm sorry. I
Yeah, as a
mean,
solo artist. Yeah, yeah.
as a
But
solo
yeah,
artist,
even as EA, when I was working with EA we was working with him, it was always under Landmark as well.
right, for Frontline as well. But
Mm-hmm.
on the solo side of things, Labyrinth really kicked off Landmark, and then No Question is Mellow Music Group, and then with Ali, you go back to Landmark. So in your career with that doing Mellow Music Group, how did that uh what did you learn from that? How did it affect you? What was the navigation of that like stepping out of Landmark for that project?
You know what? It was actually kind of cool. It was just like I didn't have to do anything. It was essentially like just a deal. It was just for that one project, but I didn't have to. They had an infrastructure in place, which is dope. They were able to set up and do like little promo stuff, and like, hey, Lock, we need you for this. So it was just less worry, because when you're doing your own label, it's like, all right, I gotta do this, I gotta, what I mean? It was just like, I was working with somebody that had an infrastructure. So I can understand why artists sign with labels because, and they're an independent label, so they never had any dispute on anything creatively. You know what I mean? They didn't have any problems like, oh, you got to do this, or we need a radio single. It's like, hey, look, you guys do what you do. We'll market it. We'll put it out there. We'll, make sure, it was dope. So they just had things in place. They had a infrastructure in place where they can be like, okay, we're going to do an interview here. You're going to do this. We're going to put together that, and you're going to market it this way, and we're going to send it off to you. And so I loved it. It was easy.
Well, that's good. That's a beautiful thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So then since you do have a lot going on and you took a little break, what are you working on now that you want to let people know about?
Yeah, I'm just working on the next album. I don't. I have a title kind of that I'm kind of work off. It's a working title. It's in my head, but I'm just putting it together, taking my time. I've got a lot of songs done, um, but I'm just kind of feel like I'm getting into a zone now. I'm like, okay, so I'm just kind of just taking it step by step. And with these things happen with music, it might take me 6 more months, or it might take a month. You know what I mean? I could be like, all right, oh, everything just fell into place. So I'm working with a lot of artists from that I'm already familiar with, and working with some new ones. So I'm just kind of just kind of locked in, man. I just been kind of laying low. I'm not doing any tours probably for the rest of the year. I'm just kind of like doing shows here and there. I just really want to just focus on music because I hadn't had a chance to do that. So I'm just kind of focusing on that now. Or, whatever approach how I want to do it.
Yeah. And for those that don't, people should really follow you, especially on Instagram, given that you put out a lot of verses on there. So
Yeah.
when, and why do you decide to put up what you do? Because some is political, some is freestyle, so it's a wide variety.
Yeah, I think it's just good. It's just an interactive way. I just feel I like doing that kind of stuff too. See, and that was another thing. See, as an artist, you're, at least for me, I feel like my brain, you have to like rewire your brain, So sometimes it's like when I was battle rapping, I was like, my brain was just like wired to battle rap. I had to like focus in on that in order to be the best that I could. When you step away from that and you're getting into songwriting, you have to like prep your mind and rewire your mind to be a songwriter. When you're doing like these verses and these freestyles on social media, or whether it's like on, at radio stations, you got to prepare your mind for that. You got to rewire your mind. So the beauty about like social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that kind of stuff is that I was like doing a lot of that. I was just like, okay, what do I want to do? I just want to release these freestyles. I just want to get up here and rap. And it's fun and it's very interactive and people love it. But now it's like, okay, I satisfy that craving. I want to write some songs. So I had to, I had to kind of like take some time to readjust my mind, rewire my mind to be like, okay, let me dig deep. Let me get into the song mode because that's where I want to go, So it's just, it's finding that balance between all those different things.
Okay. And I think that's an important point too, because as we both know, one of the stigmas that a lot of battle rappers, quote unquote battle rappers, I should say, had
Mm-hmm.
was their inability or some of the challenges they had in making songs.
Mm-hmm.
So what I understand the wiring part of your brain and having to adjust, but how do you think you, unlike some other artists, have been able to adjust in a way that's enabled you to make a Let Me Breathe, which is a great conceptual song that has nothing to do with boasting, but it's addressing political stuff or social stuff in a way that, you know, a lot of people haven't been able to make that transition. What's different about you, would you say?
I think, that's, I'm glad you asked that, because I think it has to do, I think there's a lot of different factors, right? But for me personally, I feel like you have to be able to it's a chance. Okay, so when you're battle rapping, I'm just going to use, since that's what we're talking about, you are wired to perform a certain way. You have to study. You have to know what people are going to react to. You have to know what's going to attack your opponent. You have to know you're going to get, and you have to know, and then you start developing, okay, I know what gets me a response. I know what's going to be this. So you focus that way, and you're used to that. And then for you to step away from that, it's almost like you have to understand that it's not going to be the same way. Even though you've got success that way, you're going to have to try to do something totally different. And sometimes it's hard to leave that because you've gotten success from it. So it's just like, and that happens in every part of rap. It's like, okay, I know I'm good at rap, lyrical, just like going off. But I know I can't do that every single time. I don't even want to hear myself do that. Even though people say they love it. Oh, we want it to be like, yeah, I know that's what you want, but that ain't what you want. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be special if I just did it every single time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then it's just like, all right, whatever. So the challenge is, how do I take that and how do I make it's another challenge. So you have to be willing to take that challenge and be able like to know that, okay, if I'm making a song like Let Me Breathe, it's like, I can't be like, rapid fire. It's like, no, the message is more important. So guess what? I'm going to slow it down. I am a man. I am not property. I understand this ain't democracy. You know what I mean? Like, you have to stop. I could be like, yo, I understand that the plan, like, you can't, you know what I mean? It's like people might be, mesmerized by, but I feel like you're going to lose the message. And I think that maybe that happens the same with sometimes with battle rapping, is that I feel like if you're dope, you dope, and you have to have confidence in that. So if you're dope at battle rapping, what makes you dope as a battle rapper? You have to know, you have to be able to adjust that and be able to take that chance. You know what I mean? And in all fairness to battle rappers, I feel like, them or we get a bad rap because it's like, oh, look at all these battle rappers. They can't make music. Well, a lot of battle rappers can make good music. You know what I'm saying? But a lot more can't. But I feel like there's not that good music, period. So you're fishing from a pool, of one specific pool, and saying, but like, well, look, there's a lot of bad music in every, like, all, there's more bad stuff. It's hard to be really good at rap. You have some good stuff, but to be really good or great, that takes time. You have to be really gifted, and you have to, cut battle rap some slack. You know what I mean? Like, don't, like, you're fishing from that small pool when I can say there's a lot of bad music, period, not just from the battle rappers.
That is for sure. But I also think it's a testament to explore things artistically, because even on Ramp Up on the Lock Sessions Volume 3, like, you have a different flow, like it's more to whispery, and it's just a different thing that you have to be willing, like you said, to take that chance, to take that risk, to put on something that people aren't familiar with you doing as much or ever, and really try it. And people are either going to like it or they're not, but artistically you have to, not you specifically, but an artist, in order to explore their creativity, has to do those types of things. You can't do 100% of the time. Like you said, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it feels good when I do it, and then I stop for a while and I come back to it,
Yeah. It's like if you're playing ball, you can't always go right. You got to switch it up sometimes. You can't do the same fade move. They're going to get you.
Exactly.
But anyway, well, there it is. Well, Locksmith, man, as always, it's great speaking with you, man. Anything else you wanted to add before we bounce?
Likewise, brother. Nah, man, I just appreciate you. I appreciate what you do. Keep this going, man. This is what the culture needs. This is what keeps the culture going, is to have people like yourself who are real journalists and really study the game. And you've seen it for a long time. So it's an honor to be here. And anything you want to find me, you know, you can just go to iamblog.com. All my social medias link to that. So you can find me on everything: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, iamblog.com.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence thanks to gangster rap.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube.
Hip-hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap, written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker. In stores now.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.